Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces PM CARES Children's Scheme creates corpus of 10 lakh rupees and free education for children who lost their parents due to COVID-19. Government constitutes group of ministers to look into matter of concessions and exemptions from GST for COVID relief materials. COVID-19 recoveries continue to outnumber new cases for 16th consecutive day. Over 2,84,000 patients recover in the last 24 hours. National recovery rate further improves to 90.8%. Uttar Pradesh government cancels Class 10th board exam, Class 12th exam rescheduled. Railways delivers more than 20,770 tons of medical oxygen to 15 states across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat tomorrow. Ministry of Education launches Yuva Prime Minister scheme for mentoring young authors. India and the United States vow to support each other amid COVID crisis. And 7 Indian boxers gear up for a big haul of gold medals in Asian Boxing Championships in Dubai. As the number of COVID cases is on the rise, we appeal to our listeners not to lower their guard, take all precautions, and all those above 45 years of age who have taken the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine to get vaccinated with the second dose at the scheduled time. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. Another news in detail. In a major relief announcement extending much-needed support for the children who have lost their parents due to COVID-19, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today approved a slew of measures under PM CARES for Children scheme, including free education and an amount of 10 lakh rupees on attaining the age of 23, among others. The Prime Minister chaired an important meeting to discuss and deliberate on steps which need to be taken to support children who have been orphaned due to COVID-19. Mr. Modi emphasized that children represent the future of the country and the country will do everything possible to support and protect the children so that they develop as strong citizens and have a bright future. He stressed that in such trying times it is our duty as a society to care for our children and instill hope for a bright future. All children who have lost both parents, surviving parent, legal guardian or adoptive parents due to COVID-19 will be supported under PM CARES for Children scheme. Our correspondent takes a look at the slew of measures announced under the scheme.
Under the PM CARES for Children scheme, contribution will be done through the PM CARES fund till the age of 18 years to create a corpus of 10 lakh rupees for each child orphaned due to COVID-19. The beneficiary will be given a monthly stipend for 5 years from 18 years of age till he completes 23. On attaining the age of 23, the full amount of 10 lakh rupees will be transferred to the beneficiary for his professional or personal use. Ensuring free education to such kids under the scheme, children under 10 years of age will be given admissions in Kendriya Vidyalayas and private schools, whereas provision has been made for educating kids between 11 to 18 years of age in residential schools, including Sainik School and Navodaya Vidyalayas. Expenditure on uniform, textbooks and notebooks for beneficiary kids will be done through the PM CARES fund. Students going for higher education will also be assisted to get education loans and scholarships. All children beneficiaries will be enrolled under Ayushman Bharat scheme with a health insurance cover of 5 lakh rupees, the premium for which will be paid by the PM CARES fund. Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
The Uttar Pradesh government also launched Bal Seva Yojana for the children who lost their parents due to the COVID pandemic. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath announced a slew of measures for the care of such children and said the assistance will be provided to the caretaker if none of the parents are alive. The state government will provide financial assistance of 4,000 rupees per month to such children. The government will also provide laptop or tablet to such children if they are getting education in any school or are doing any professional course. Financial assistance of 1,01,000 rupees will be provided for the marriage of girl children who lost their parents in this pandemic. The Assam government has announced Chief Minister's Shishu Seva scheme for the welfare of those children who lost their parents due to COVID-19. Talking to news persons in Guwahati, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said the scheme would be launched on the occasion of completion of 7 years of the Modi government. Mr. Sarma said that monthly scholarship of 3,500 rupees per month would be given to those children who lost their parents or the bread earner but have their extended family members. On the other hand, those children who do not have extended family members would get free residential educational facilities. Mr. Sarma further said that a girl would also be given 1 tola of gold and 50,000 rupees during her marriage.
The Union government has announced measures to help families who have lost the earning member due to COVID. Under the relief measures announced today, provisions for an enhanced and liberalized insurance compensation through the Employee State Insurance Corporation have been made by the government. The decision taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in an important meeting held today in New Delhi is aimed at mitigating financial difficulties faced by the families due to the death of single bread earners. Under the relief measures announced, benefit of ESIC pension scheme for employment-related death cases has been extended to even those who have died due to COVID. Dependent family members of such persons will be entitled to the benefit of pension equivalent to 90% of average daily wage drawn by the worker as per the existing norms. This benefit will be available retrospectively with effect from the 24th of March of last year and for all such cases till the 24th of March the next year. Additionally, the insurance benefits under the Employees Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme (EDLI) have been enhanced to 7 lakh rupees. The provision of minimum insurance benefit of 2,50,000 rupees has been restored and will apply retrospectively from 15th of February last for the next 3 years. To benefit the families of contractual and casual workers, the condition of continuous employment in only one establishment has been liberalized. The benefit under the relaxed norms will be made available to families of even those employees who may have changed jobs in the last 12 months preceding their death. The Union Finance Ministry has constituted a group of ministers, GOAM, to look into the matter of concessions and exemptions from GST to COVID relief materials. Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Conrad Sangma, has been named as the convener of the GOAM, which is constituted of total 8 members, including Deputy Chief Minister of Gujarat, Nitin Bhai Patel, Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Ajit Pawar, Transport Minister of Goa, Morvin Godino, and State Finance Ministers of Kerala, Odisha, Telangana and Uttar Pradesh. The 43rd GST Council, which met yesterday, recommended constitution of a GOAM to examine into the needs for further relief to COVID-19 related individual items. The GOAM will submit its report to the GST Council latest by the 8th of the next month.
The national COVID-19 recovery rate has further improved to 90.8%. The Health Ministry said daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 16th consecutive day. The weekly positivity rate currently stands at 9.84%. Daily positivity rate is 8.36% and it has been less than 10% for 5 consecutive days. At 1.73 lakh daily new cases, the declining trend in new cases is being maintained. The daily new cases are the lowest in the last 45 days. In the last 24 hours, 2,84,601 patients have recovered. The active caseload in the country has further declined to 22,28,724. The number of active cases decreased by 1,14,428 in the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, 3,617 deaths were reported. With this, the death toll due to the pandemic has reached 3,22,512. COVID vaccine is crucial in the fight against the coronavirus disease. The liberalized and accelerated Phase 3 strategy of COVID-19 vaccination drive has already started in the country. Despite the government's efforts to vaccinate all beneficiaries in the fastest manner, some misinformation about vaccination is also there in some sections of society. One of the misconceptions is that the centre is not taking steps to vaccinate children. The Union government has termed this as false. More from our correspondent.
The Union government has said that no country in the world is administering COVID vaccine doses to children under the age of 12 years. Also, the World Health Organization has no recommendation to vaccinate children. However, there have been studies about the safety of vaccine in children, which is encouraging. The center has said trials in children in India are also going to begin soon. Recently, Bharat Biotech Covaxin has been granted permission to conduct phase 2 and 3 trials for the age group of 2 to 18 years. The expert panel of the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization had recommended the conduct of trials. The government has stressed that the decision to vaccinate children is to be made by the scientists based on the result of the trials. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
The Civil Aviation Ministry has said that airlines can operate with 50% of flight operations from the 1st of June. Earlier, the permitted limit was 80%. The step has been taken in view of the sudden surge in the number of active COVID-19 cases, decrease in passenger traffic and passenger load factor. The Civil Aviation Ministry has increased the limit to 80% in December last year as a measure to open the domestic flight operation in a calibrated manner. After the initial restrictions on the domestic flight operations due to outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in the country, the central government had permitted the domestic flight operation in May last year. Meanwhile, the Civil Aviation Ministry has decided to raise the minimum fares of domestic flights from 13 to 16%. This will come into effect from the 1st of June this year. Railways has delivered more than 20,770 tons of liquid medical oxygen to 15 states across the country. Railway Ministry said Railways is continuing its journey of bringing relief by delivering liquid medical oxygen to various states, and so far 305 oxygen expresses have completed their journey. The oxygen expresses started their deliveries 35 days back on 24th of April in Maharashtra. The ministry said Assam today received its third oxygen express with 80 tons of liquid medical oxygen in 4 tankers.
Delhi today reported less than 1,000 cases of COVID-19. The positivity rate also dipped to 1.19%. The Delhi government has said over 13,84,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, more than 2,000 people recovered and 122 deaths were reported in the city. Presently, the total number of active cases of COVID-19 in the national capital is around 13,000. Due to the COVID pandemic, the Uttar Pradesh government has cancelled the Class 10th examination of the State Education Board. Class 12th exam has also been rescheduled. It will not take place in the month of July, and the exam pattern will also be changed.
Education Minister of State Dr. Dinesh Sharma made the announcement and said that due to COVID pandemic, the exams of Class 10th of UP Board stands cancelled. The decision will affect around 30 lakh students of the state. He said that the Education Department has been asked to prepare the guidelines for the promotion of Class 10th students to Class 11. Dr. Sharma said that because of the importance of exams of Class 12 and the future of intermediate students of UP Board, it has been decided that the exams will take place in the second week of July. The detailed timetable of 12th examinations will be shared soon, and the whole examination will be conducted in a time span of 15 working days. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Maharashtra, a new technology has been developed by the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, NEERI, of Nagpur for COVID testing. A report.
The saline gargle RT-PCR technique for testing of COVID sample is developed by the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute of Nagpur. This technique has also been approved by the ICMR. Scientists in the Department of Environmental Virology Research of NEERI, Dr. Krishna Khairnar, told AIR that this technique can give results within 3 hours.
The term saline gargle itself is self-explanatory. It means that you have to do gargling using saline solution. So we have a specially designed system where the saline gargling can actually block COVID-19 virus. Self-sampling is possible. It doesn't require any skilled person or a healthcare worker for collecting the sample.
This saline gargle RT-PCR technique is expected to be time-saving and used extensively for testing COVID samples in limited resources. Dhananjay Wankhede, AIR News, Nagpur.
In Kerala, the state government has extended the lockdown till 9th of June. With active cases dropping further, more relaxations are being allowed in the state.
Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that even as the average test positivity rate and active case load in the state is declining considerably, this is not sufficient to withdraw the present lockdown restrictions in the state. 70% of the ICU beds in the government hospitals are filled now. Chief Minister said that the government has decided to withdraw the triple lockdown in Malappuram district and continue the lockdown with more relaxation. Industrial units and shops that sell raw materials can be operated with 50% workforce. Banks will function till 5 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Textile, footwear shops and bookstores are also allowed to open thrice a week. Mr. Vijayan said that the vaccination process will be accelerated from next week as more vaccines will arrive in the state on the first week of June. Mayusha, AR News, Thiruvananthapuram.
In view of COVID-19 pandemic, BJP will not hold any celebratory event to mark the 7th anniversary of Narendra Modi government tomorrow. Party leaders and workers will organize Corona awareness and relief campaign in 1 lakh villages across the country to mark the day. BJP has assigned work to its leaders and workers to reach out to people in the villages. Union ministers, state ministers, MPs and MLAs have been asked to participate in this campaign in at least 2 villages. On the occasion, party leaders will also distribute sanitizers, masks, oximeters and other materials among the people.
The Bharatiya Janata Party today accused the Congress of working to weaken India's fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Referring to senior Congress leader Kamal Nath's comments, party spokesman Gaurav Bhatia alleged that Congress provides tools to countries like Pakistan to defame India. Earlier, Mr. Kamal Nath had reportedly said that India is not great but infamous following the spread of COVID-19. Mr. Bhatia also cited comments of other senior Congress leaders including Rahul Gandhi and Shashi Tharoor on COVID to target the main opposition party. Union Minister of State for Chemicals and Fertilizers Mansukh Mandavia has informed the country has now surplus quantity of antiviral drug Remdesivir due to the centre's active intervention to ramp up its production. Mr. Mandavia said, starting from the production capacity of around 33,000 vials per day in mid-April, the nation today produces around 350,000 vials of Remdesivir in a single day. The minister also informed that the number of production plants of the antiviral drug has been increased from 20 to nearly 60 plants within a month. Mr. Mandavia asserted that the country has now enough Remdesivir as the supply is much more than the demand.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces PM CARES Children's Scheme, creates corpus of 10 lakh rupees and free education for children who have lost their parents due to COVID-19. Government constitutes group of ministers to look into matters of concessions and exemptions from GST for COVID relief materials. COVID-19 recoveries continue to outnumber new cases for 16th consecutive day. Over 2,84,000 patients recover in the last 24 hours. National recovery rate further improves to 90.8%. Uttar Pradesh government cancels Class 10th board exam, Class 12th exams rescheduled. Railways delivers more than 20,770 tons of medical oxygen to 15 states across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat tomorrow. Ministry of Education launches Yuva, Prime Minister's scheme for mentoring young authors. India and United States vow to support each other amid COVID crisis, and 7 Indian boxers gear up for a big haul of gold medals in Asian Boxing Championships in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 77th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO and the Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. The Ministry of Education today launched Yuva, Prime Minister's scheme for mentoring young authors. It is an author mentorship program to train young and budding authors below 30 years. The launch of Yuva, Young, Upcoming and Versatile Authors, is in tune with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision to encourage young writers to write about India's freedom struggle. Yuva is a part of India at 75 project to bring to the fore the perspectives of the young generation of writers on themes like unsung heroes, freedom fighters, unknown and forgotten places.
The export of non-basmati rice has witnessed an impressive growth of 146% during 2020-21. The Commerce and Industry Ministry said the non-basmati rice exports amounted to 35,448 crore rupees during April to March this year against 14,400 crore rupees during the same period last year. The ministry said non-basmati rice exports to African and Asian countries are undertaken from various ports of India such as Kakinada, Visakhapatnam, Chennai, Mundra and Krishnapatnam. The procurement of wheat in the Rabi marketing season 2021-22 has crossed 400 lakh metric tons mark. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution said that so far a quantity of over 400.45 lakh metric tons of wheat has been procured, which is an all-time high. It has exceeded previous high of 389.92 lakh metric tons. About 42.36 lakh farmers have already benefited from the procurement operations with MSP value of over 79,088 crore rupees.
The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said America will never forget the help provided by India during the early days of COVID. Mr. Blinken said India was there for the United States and now the USA wants to make sure that America is there for and with India. He said the U.S. and India are united in confronting COVID-19 together.
The United States and India are working together on so many of the most important challenges of our time, and ones that are having a profound impact on the lives of our citizens. We're united in confronting COVID-19 together. We're united in dealing with the challenge posed by climate change, and we are partnered together directly through the Quad and other institutions of the United Nations in dealing with many of the challenges that we face in the region and around the world. The partnership between the United States and India is vital, it's strong.
Earlier, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Washington last night. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said there was productive discussion on various aspects of the bilateral cooperation as well as regional and global issues. Both leaders discussed Indo-Pacific and the Quad, Afghanistan, Myanmar, UNSC matters and other international organizations. He said discussion also focused on Indo-US vaccine partnership aimed at expanding access and ensuring supply. Dr. Jaishankar appreciated strong solidarity expressed by the US at this time.
I want to take the opportunity to express to the Secretary and through him to the administration, to the United States for the strong support and solidarity at a moment of great difficulty for us.
The centre has been promptly dispatching foreign COVID-19 relief material to the states and union territories. A total of 18,040 oxygen concentrators, over 19,000 oxygen cylinders, 19 oxygen generation plants and 7.7 lakh remdesivir vials were dispatched through road and air from the 27th of April to the 28th of May. Major consignments received in the last 2 days were from Turkey, Indian Business Association in Taiwan and Roche in Switzerland.
The pandemic is a tough time for the society and even more for the transgenders. Most of the transgenders are daily wage earners and have lost their source of income in these testing times. Social Story, a non-governmental organization, is helping the transgender community by providing them ration. More details in this report.
Under the We for India campaign, a special concert was organized today. Grammy winner Ricky Kedge and other eminent personalities from different walks of life participated in the concert. Manoj Pachauri said the money raised by this concert will be used to help the transgenders.
कॉन्सर्ट के थ्रू जितनी भी अर्निंग्स होंगी वो सारा पैसा हम लोग ट्रांसजेंडर कम्युनिटी को राशन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने पे लगाएंगे और हम लोग टारगेट कर रहे हैं कि शुरुआती दौर में 500 लोगों को एटलीस्ट अगले 45 दिन के लिए हम लोग इनको राशन दें.
Manoj Pachauri added that they plan to inoculate the transgenders and the other people from the community with the COVID-19 vaccines in the longer run.
हमारा टारगेट है कि हम लोग इनको वैक्सीनेशन भी प्रोवाइड करा पाएं. जैसे बहुत सारे रेड लाइट एरियाज हैं, बहुत सारे ऐसे HIV पॉजिटिव लोग हैं शायद जिनके पास रिसोर्सेज नहीं है और वो कहीं अप्लाई भी नहीं कर सकते स्लॉट्स के लिए, तो हम लोग प्रयास कर रहे हैं.
The NGO has so far collected more than 1.5 lakh rupees under the We for India campaign. Diksha Saxena, AIR News, Delhi.
Six-time world champion MC Mary Kom will face Kazakhstan's Nazim Kayzebay in the summit clash of Asian Boxing Championships in Dubai tomorrow. She stormed into the final of the women's 51 kg category with a 4-1 win against Mongolia's Latse Khan Alsansetsek. There are 3 more Indian women boxers in contention for gold medal. They include Lalbut Sahi in 64 kg, Pooja Rani in 75 kg and Anupama in plus 81 kg category. Indian male boxers Amit Pangal, Shiva Thapa and Sanjeet have also reached the finals of Asian Boxing Championship with resounding victories in the last 4th stage.
Today is the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. It offers a chance to pay tribute to the uniformed and civilian personnel's invaluable contribution to the work of the organization and to honor more than 4,000 peacekeepers who have lost their lives serving under the UN flag since 1948, including 130 last year. The theme for this year's day is The Road to a Lasting Peace, Leveraging the Power of Youth for Peace and Security. International Everest Day 2021 is being celebrated today. This day is observed in the memory of the first summit of Mount Everest by New Zealand's Sir Edmund Hillary and Nepal's Tenzing Norgay Sherpa that took place on the 29th of May 1953. History was created on this day 68 years ago when both of them climbed Mount Everest 29,029 feet above sea level. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. Srinagar will be mainly having a clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between 14 and 29 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature will be 25 degrees, maximum will be around 41. Leh is expected to have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum and maximum temperature will be between 6 and 21 degrees. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 16 and 37 degrees. Muzaffarabad, the sky will be partly cloudy. The minimum temperature will be 17 degrees Celsius, maximum around 31. Dehradun will witness a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature will be 22 degrees, maximum around 37. Chandigarh will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will likely to hover between 29 and 39 degrees. National capital Delhi is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. The temperature will hover between 27 and 39 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature will be 29 degrees, maximum expected around 34. Chennai is expected to have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between 30 and 41 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces PM CARES Children Scheme creates corpus of 10 lakh rupees and free education for children who lost their parents due to COVID-19. Government constitutes group of ministers to look into matter of concessions and exemptions from GST for COVID relief materials. COVID-19 recoveries continue to outnumber new cases for 16th consecutive day. Over 2,84,000 patients recover in the last 24 hours. National recovery rate further improves to 90.8%. Uttar Pradesh government cancels Class 10th board exam, Class 12th exam rescheduled. Railways delivers more than 20,770 tons of medical oxygen to 15 states across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program tomorrow. Ministry of Education launches Yuva, Prime Minister's scheme for mentoring young authors. India and the United States vow to support each other amid COVID crisis. And 7 Indian boxers gear up for a big haul of gold medals in Asian Boxing Championships in Dubai. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.